What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Siouxsie and the Banshees, and we're going to begin going through the B-sides for the album A Kiss in the Dreamhouse, 1982. Once again, big shout out to Nikola. And the next track, or the first B-side in this folder, is the B-side for Slow Dive, and it's called Cannibal Roses. I'm very intrigued. It's an interesting juxtaposition. Cannibal, something that eats its own, something that consumes that which it is. And then roses, often a symbol of beauty and love and a delicate and fragile biological flowering. And thus it feels like they're two very distinct concepts, almost at opposite ends of the spectrum of, beauty and violence, or visceral violence and an elegant biological beauty. So yeah, I wonder how they come together, if they are in fact references to some very specific entity. If so, nothing comes to mind off the top of my head, so I'll just try to catch what I can. This is Siouxsie and the Banshees. The track is Cannibal Roses, and it's the B-side to their Slow Dive, a track from their 1982 album A Kiss in the Dreamhouse. love those vocals. I feel like it ended a little too soon. But yeah, a really crazy track in terms of, number one, Siouxsie's range of vocal delivery. Like, there's some ethereal style vocals, haunting, a couple moments where it almost reminded me of Elizabeth Fraser from Cocteau Twins, but then also more powerful and forceful the way she can sing. But then at the same time, other parts where it was like almost a whisper, like barely louder than the sonic surrounding, and thus there were a number of lines where I was struggling to hear. It's like at the beginning, it was like, what was that, trespassing in the topiary? And then something about, what is it, love in the morning that came without warning, or maybe it was just the morning that came without warning. So there were phrases that I was just hearing bits and pieces of and not completely, in part because of the sonic levels around her voice. But I do enjoy, again, that she went both big and forceful down to soft and suspenseful, and the whole track had a lot of suspense and tension in it, especially as it, like, the piano or keyboard line seemed to double and start to go into like this trill form, and the drums felt like they were building, but not just one big long build, but like a cyclical build, like a little bit of a build and release, and then more build and release, and more build, and the whole time ratcheting up. So the whole track felt like it was, about to come apart or about to explode, but it kept you in this limbo state of, unfulfilled building or intensity. So it was a really, like, sonically on edge tune, which I enjoyed, and it seemed to fit with some of the vocal work that she was doing. But again, the haunting vocals in particular, and at the end it felt like it was very layered, like there were multiple Siouxsie vocals, like hovering above, like going below, and just, generally overlaid. So yeah, a really interesting track. I'm not quite sure what to make of it lyrically or thematically. I heard the title phrase a number of times, Cannibal Roses. Maybe those were in the topiary, I'm not sure. But yeah, again, there seems to be a dichotomy at play in the title, and then, a morning that came without warning, or whatever was in the morning that came without warning, suggests there was a prior state, and then something changed, and suddenly there was a new set of conditions. So it feels like there is some unresolved dual poles at the ends of different spectrums, and maybe the music was reflective of that unfulfilled, or rather undecided tension. So yeah, don't really know what to make with this one. I'm sure Mark and Nikola and many others may have something to say, but yeah, just a fascinating one sonically and vocally, even if I'm not quite sure what's happening thematically. So I do remember Nikola was saying that after this folder, we'll go on to the next Creatures release. So unless I'm remembering that wrong, I do think I was intended to go through all these bonus tunes, so I'm looking forward to that. But then, as I said, I think after that, this deep dive will jump back over to the Creatures. So looking forward to that. Do let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.